In this video, I'm going to talk about something very important regarding sound insulation and air transfer units. Let's say, where's the pen? There it is. Let's say you have a room, for instance, a school. This is an actual question that I'm working on in a current project of ours. And then you have a classroom here, and then you have typically you got some door, and then probably you might have also glass door, and then there might be some little window here and another window on the side. So this is glass and this is a door, and typically with glass you can't get as good sound insulation as you can with a wall, so you've already pushed the limit a little bit. You have pretty high sound insulation requirements between classroom and corridor. In the Swedish regulations, we're talking about field sound reduction index of 40 dBs from the, or actually it's from the corridor and in, not because you don't want to be disturbed by the sound that goes on in the corridor. Anyway, if you have air transfer units here, you might go and look at the manufacturer, and they have some data sheet where they will say that this air transfer unit will have a sound reduction index of this and this decibels in different frequency bands. And so what you need to remember is that sometimes you might need more than one air transfer. You might need perhaps, how do we paint them? We can paint them like this. There's a hole in the wall, and then there's little duct like that comes out into the, they probably have some kind of suspended ceiling here in the corridor. So then there's an opening here where you can transfer air in the room. Now if you have two of them, or perhaps even three of them, it depends on how many people are inside the room breathing. So what you then need to remember is that when you do calculations and when you're gonna make sure that you get the proper sound insulation, for every additional transfer unit that you install in the wall, the resulting sound reduction index will go down. So even if, let's say you have, for this entire construction, this whole, the wall, glass, door, partition and everything, you got 40 decibels. You fulfill the requirements with the whole partition, and then you find a air transfer unit which is supposed to fulfill also 40 decibels of field. Then you should be fine. However, when you add more transmission paths, this is the tricky part here. If you have 40 dB from one of them, and then you add a second one, then you've added more sound transmission into the room. And with 3 and with 4, and sometimes you've even seen up to 6 of them in very large rooms, perhaps. You can think of it like this. Imagine that you're out at sea in a boat. And here you are sitting in the boat or standing, and then you drill a hole into the boat here, and then you will get some leakage in. But it's no matter. You install a bilge pump that will take care of this and pump the water that comes in, goes out through the pump, and they are calibrated so that the pump sends out the same amount that comes in. So now what happens if you drill more holes? You drill another one, you add 3 of them. Well, you can see where this is going. More water is coming in because you have more holes in your boat. And that means that this one won't be enough anymore. And that's what's going to happen if you add too many of these. So remember that if you need many air transfer units, you will need to raise the bar on each of them to compensate. So that they will have to be somewhat or even a lot better than the requirement. If you're aiming at 40, you might need to aim a lot higher with these because you've got so many of them. And you can calculate all of this, of course, but it might be a little acoustical landmine that is easy to forget. So don't miss that one. Every additional transfer path into the room will make the sound insulation worse. It's just like when you're in the boat and you drill several holes and more holes. Some of them are large and some of them are small. But for every additional hole, the faster your boat will sink. So that's a pretty good analogy with acoustics also that I like. Because here you have the wall construction, you have the door, you have the windows, you have the air transfer units, you've got flanking transmission through the adjacent construction. So there's many different transfer paths here, and each of them could be considered like a hole in the boat that fills it up with water. Anyway, in today's video, I'm wearing burgundy shirt, very casual one, brownish beige-ish jacket, part of a three-piece suit, and then I pair it with this beige little pocket square, orange. I think orange and burgundy is a pretty cool match. I really like that one. And then I have the sand on the pants as well, brown belt, dark brown, and you got the dark brown here on the pocket square as well, and the sand from the pants, so you pick that one up. And then I finished that one off with a pair of blue socks, dark blue, because that also works with this, and I think it turned out pretty good. See you later.